I would have said good morning.
Good afternoon, but I still have coffee.
So do I.
I feel, I haven't the last time you guys saw me in a white shirt. I feel like a librarian, so I'm keeping my glasses on.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh my goodness, what's going on? You've been busy.
I've been crazy busy. It's just those sometimes those weeks happen to you, right? And you're like, when it's Monday and you're like, is it Friday? And then you realize it's only Monday.
Yeah.
So, that, but it's always like that. When it rains, it pours. And then next week, you could be bored and have nothing. So,
I don't think you ever run into that situation.
no, I don't, but it's okay. I mean, weather's better, everything's good, except, I need my cannabis store to bring my sleepy pills in because I've been sleeping without them. They're only CBN guys, so don't get carried away, but they do
Yeah,
help you sleep, and
they
they've
do.
been out. So
They do.
maybe I'm just covering my eyes with the glasses so you guys don't see how tired I am.
That's
Anyway,
okay. We're pushing through.
we
We're
are.
pushing through.
But summer's coming.
So it is. It is. We're actually officially in summer here in
Yeah,
this part of the world, anyway, which is great.
yeah,
I'm excited, but in a weird way, like I always feel like I had big plans. Like someone asked me last week, like, "What are your big plans for the summer?" I'm like, "Have any?" Like I feel like you and I have even had like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like this summer, we're gonna plan on doing this summer, doing this. I think this summer coming up is okay. Let's actually trudge through and continue working. We have some plans always in the back end of some things that we're doing, but yeah, I feel like this is going to be a working summer, and I'm okay
yeah.
with that.
And I think a lot of people this year, and for those of you who are watching, probably agree, a lot of people this year seem to be either going back to their workplace or they're getting back involved with working. Not a lot of people are like, they're finally really coming out, because now you're seeing even companies say you got to come back for a couple of days a week or three or
Yep.
four.
Yeah, it's getting a
So,
lot busier. The city is a lot busier, but I think even the person I was talking to said last summer was the big like I need to do something. I need to go. I need to
yeah,
go on a vacation because COVID had us,
yeah,
inside for so long. I want to go. I want to go. I want to go. And then this summer, it's like, okay, we're sort of back to some sort of weird normalcy,
yeah.
different world, but even they're saying I don't know a lot of people that have big plans this summer.
Yeah.
So I
Which is
think,
good, because the
yeah,
summer means that it's a great time to start, moving into areas maybe you're not really comfortable with or having the time to check out, or you've been wanting to do certain things, adding it to your business. And this is a great opportunity
yeah,
for all that, right? So, I mean, we're really, as you guys know, big AI fans. We're pushing it everywhere, and you guys are going to see some really cool things happening. We have a big mastermind and workshop and stuff coming up in the summer, strictly for AI. And that's going to totally blow you away if you guys haven't done any of the other stuff with us before. But we're really trying to format it and give you the best results. So if you've ever thought, oh, it's too complicated, I don't want to do it, this is the summer. Pick that thing that you want to do,
yeah,
whether
you
it's like
can learn.
learning to do a landing page, or formulating your framework to go coach, or setting an e-com store to sell products, or doing your YouTube channel. Like, take this summer, as because remember, September is, as we all say, the new
New
January.
January, yeah.
So take the summer and give yourself a launch date of September 1 and say, okay, I'm going to now work on whatever it is that I have been avoiding, and I'm going to hunker down and plop it into your calendar for once a week or twice a week, however long it takes you, and be ready to launch for September 1. So don't waste the summer, thinking about it. Actually start doing it.
Yeah, I think that's the big one. It was actually funny. I was listening to the radio this morning and they were saying, what will AI replace and what won't AI replace? And they're having this big conversation and stuff like that. And I agreed with most of it. I disagreed with quite a number of things because obviously, therapy, interpersonal relationships, parenting, like all of those stuff that involves feelings, understanding, movement of
Right.
situation. But then they brought up things like business, and they said, starting a new business. And I'm like, well, AI can help you with that.
Yeah.
Writing a book. They actually said AI would not help you with that. And I went,
Of course.
completely disagree. I can write the book.
Who are you listening to?
I don't even know. It was just a random station. I was just driving. I had to drop off my husband at the train station. So I was listening on the way back, and I'm like, no. Writing courses, they said no because it involves an understanding. And I said, well, actually, I disagree with that because it can absolutely help you with that. So all the business stuff that they kind of said that it wouldn't help with, I strongly disagreed. But
Right.
obviously, then the interpersonal relationship piece, obviously AI cannot help with. But
Well,
then I
yes
well,
and no, Stacy.
well, but then I said, because one of the things that they brought up was a particular disorder. I can't remember what it is, and I actually said, in that case, I think it can, because it can pull different information. Because sometimes I think our feelings and opinions can get in the way of information. So it was interesting.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot can be done on that side. There are already apps that have been around for a while. There's that, I can't remember what it's called. It's for teens for their mental health, and they can chat kind of with it. It's a
Yeah,
chatbot version of it. So now AI is going to take it to a whole new level, because what happens, as you know, is the more you use AI on the same thread, the more it learns,
yeah,
your tone, your voice, whatever. So it can actually have a conversation for you with you. So if you have, stress management issues, it can talk to you back and forth. It can have a whole conversation. You can say, give me 4 strategies. I live in the country and I have lots of nature, and what can I do here? And it will pull from all the data, and it will start talking to you and giving you some direction. So in
yeah,
fact, there are lots of applications that it can work in, because and the whole key again, guys, all the time is what you put in, right? Good
yeah,
information in, prompts. It can pull all of that and answer all of your questions. But, you know, um, for the people that you're listening to, it can't write a book. Yes, it can if the prompts are right,
exactly,
right? And it
exactly.
can write in your own voice. Like, that's what we teach people in our workshop. It can write in your voice if you teach it how. And it's not hard, it's literally a prompt.
Yeah,
So it really comes down to understanding that. So these guys who you were listening to probably don't know what they're doing when they go into
yeah.
ChatGPT, because they don't really understand what it's about. But yeah, you'll see. I see the comment. It's going to blow everybody away as it
But it
gets.
is, but it is still in its infancy. I agree with that. It is.
Yeah,
It's right. We're right in the beginning of it,
sure.
of what it can
And we'll
do.
be able to. So our goal is that we run business masterminds, and you'll be able to come to our site, and you'll be able to say what you need help with, right? And eventually it'll talk to you. We're working on all those things, and eventually it'll be able to say, here is what you should watch. Here's the program. Here's a video.
Here's the
Watch
course.
this.
Yeah,
Do this. And because it'll answer exactly what you're looking for, which is what most people are looking for these days, right? They want instant gratification. So, including me, I'm the same way, right? It's kind of like Amazon. If you don't find it now in like 10 seconds, you're like, what's wrong with Amazon, right? Why can't they find
exactly. Yep, exactly. Waiting for a response.
it?
I just want to get it done now. We were just having a conversation before we got on, like, the new generation coming up. I'm actually going now to my 17 and 19-year-old and asking them questions about, like, if this
Yes.
happened, what would you do? And they're like, I would leave. Like, if I can't get an answer right away, because they know
Yeah.
there's other avenues to be able to get that answer. So,
Yeah.
they want to get things done quickly,
Yeah, they
efficiently. They
don't.
don't
They
want to go
want
back to it.
immediate. If they want to do something, they want all the details right there. They're not going to wait for your email. They're not
No,
waiting, because they don't even know where their emails are. But they're
no.
not going to wait for it, and they want that answer now. And here's the cool thing: if you understand that psychology, then you're going to, your brand, whoever you are, going to appeal to all those people. You have to understand what they want. They do not want, remember those, okay, sorry, coaches, but all those coaches with like, let's book a discovery session and let me get, they don't want that. They
No.
want to know that you can help them right away. So they would rather talk to AI and say what they need and have somebody say, yes, this is what you need and I can answer your questions. That's who they want. They do not
Yeah,
want
they want to
somebody.
read about it, make a decision, and go.
That's
Not
it.
they don't want to spend time like, let's get to know you session, or what can I help you with, or whatever the case may be. But you know what? I'm actually in speaking of instant gratification,
Yeah.
I'm in a situation right now where I had a third party hire me to do an intro, a podcast setup for their client. So now if I have a question, I don't know who the client is. So first of
Right.
all, I can't get an answer right away because I have to ask the question and then I have to wait for them to ask the question, then wait for them to respond and then get back to me. So there's no instant. So I'm finding that very, very interesting because I've never been in this
Yeah.
situation before. I go right to the client hires me. I go right to whatever our
Yeah.
mastermind clients hired me. We do it together, like direct. I've never had this third party involvement before.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting from that perspective. But the other perspective, which kind of goes with the whole thing, is, so I'm doing, so part of that is, I do like doing the intros and outros and stuff like that. I find that fun. So, but the vibe of it, and I'm like, okay, so what music do I use? I'm like, I don't know them. I don't know who they are. I've never talked to them. I don't really know their vibe. I kind of got an opinion, based on the website and stuff like that. So then I was sitting there going, well, wait a minute. I would have liked, and I don't know, I'm not as in with AI as you are, but maybe you can answer this question. I would have liked to have taken their all of their keywords from their website, all of that kind of stuff, and what music would
Yes.
be the best for this type of person without
Right.
actually knowing them.
Yeah.
And that's what I would have needed in that moment. I didn't think I kind of found something that worked and actually worked out really well. But I think AI would have been great in that particular circumstance
Absolutely.
because I don't know who they are. I know who
Right.
they are, but I've never actually had a conversation with them.
Yeah, and that's the whole key. That's the beauty of having something do it for you, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many different pieces out there. Again, you have to know them, but you can't be scared of them.
Right.
So if you're willing to give it a shot, then even for the person, you don't know this person, it would be great for you to get some music for them and stuff. But yeah, but you could, and they might not know what music they like. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so it'd be great for them to be able to get some and then go, oh, actually, that sounds great for my
Yeah,
brand. I never
exactly.
thought
And that's what
about
ended
it.
up happening. They're like, oh, I never really thought of that.
Yeah,
Right. Which is a really the other piece that I don't know who I should find out what radio station I was listening to, but the other one that they said is cooking and that it
right.
wouldn't help you cook. And I'm like,
Well,
oh,
no, that helps you big time.
yes,
We love that part of AI is cooking.
exactly. I'm like, they've obviously haven't tried
Like
any
this is the
program.
this is the most useless radio station you've ever listened to. I mean,
But then
we've talked
again,
about it, guys. I've told you guys, if you're listening today, go do it. Open your fridge, pick 4 ingredients that you happen to have, and go into ChatGPT and say, I have these 4 ingredients. As a master chef, could you write me a recipe for dinner using these four? And it will write it. And it's
and you can go
fantastic.
cook it.
I made the recipe. It was awesome. And I all I told them I had was like wrinkled grape tomatoes and garlic, and I don't even remember what it was. And I baked this, and it was phenomenal. And I would have never done that before.
Exactly. So I think it kind of helps out. But I think we're also, I know we've had this conversation before in regards to like the next generations coming up, they don't listen to the radio.
You
I think radio stations are going
Yeah,
to go by the wayside because they stream. So they're going to stream music, they're going to stream their information, they're going to stream shows, they're going to pay for that. Commercials in there. So this talk show conversation, they're going to podcasts, they're listening to what they
yeah,
want to listen to on demand. They're not going to go like me. I'm driving for 5 minutes and listening to the radio. I don't have time to listen to a podcast. I didn't really I'm tired. It was like early in the morning. I didn't want to figure out what I could put on my phone. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll listen. But this is what I had to listen to. Whereas anybody younger than me are going to go, why are you listening to the radio? That's so
Yeah.
archaic.
Yeah, it is. Especially regular radio. I mean, I listen to Sirius, but that's
That's
because there's a lot of
different.
talk radios, there's a lot of podcast stations. There's so, and I literally flip and I find the subject that I like and I just listen. So that's if I don't download a podcast, like you said. But yeah, I mean, you have to, if for those of you who are maybe first time listeners of ours, you have to really pay attention when new things come out. So if you've never listened to anyone really talk about this and you're like, oh, I don't know anything about this stuff, you need to start looking at it because everyone's business will be affected. The old school pieces of, especially I like to say that for coaches because I think that one's a big one. No, none of these younger generation are going to do a discovery call with you.
No,
They're not,
no.
right? They don't want to. They think it's kind of a waste of time. So they would rather do something interactive. Even if you sent them an interactive quiz, that's better if you don't have
Yeah.
AI, right? Send them an interactive quiz, not a form to fill out because these people can't even, they don't even know how to do cursive. Like they don't know how to
The
write.
cursive is coming back.
It is, which really upset me, I think, because I was really upset that it left because I thought it was disgusting that they're not teaching kids how to do cursive, even though they don't really have to use it. I think it's good to learn it. But now it's coming back because they realized they made a mistake, like whole word, which was my least favorite thing that they came up with, and I think only two of my kids got stuck with whole word. You did yours, or were yours doing
I don't
whole?
even know
So
what that
whole
is.
word. So whole word for a while. I don't know if anyone teachers out there, they're gonna either say I'm an idiot or they're gonna say they love me. But phonetics is how we were taught,
Right.
right? We learned by phonetics, right?
Yes.
You know, so whole word came in at the same
Oh, now
time.
I get it.
First, and whole word was they didn't care how you spelt it. It was like how you thought it was spelt based on the sound of the whole word. And so
Oh,
I
interesting.
remember saying to teachers, like, these kids can't spell and they don't even know how to sound it out. Like, you guys are, what are you doing? Right? That's gone too. So you
Right.
screwed up a generation, but, you know,
But it's going to be interesting because they're like somehow down the road,
yeah,
many years from now, they're going to ask people to write their name and they're going to know what
what,
gap
how,
of time missed cursive in school because they're going to go. But then again, but I think about it, I had to sign, I've had to do some electronic signature stuff lately. And all it is, I go in and it's like, choose your font.
yeah,
Like type your name in and it's like, choose your font. So it's like,
yeah,
choose whatever cursive one on a
yeah.
click and sign. So I never, but then there was one I had to sign on the pad
Yeah,
of my computer. Oh my God, the amount of times I was like, I can't send that.
I
I
know.
can't send that. And you know what? My signature has now reduced because
And,
I
and
can't
it's
sign with my
true.
finger.
They probably won't have to use cursive. Everything's DocuSigns, right? Everything's like
You
electronic
choose your font,
signature.
done.
Everything's the same. But I mean, for me, phonetics, cursive is something that is not a big deal. Learn it, keep it in your repertoire. You don't know when you're going to need it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
is
I
it a,
had, my
you
kid,
know,
my older one, his grade 6 teacher was so against the fact that cursive was removed from the curriculum that
yeah,
she spent a week and just taught it to them. So at least they had the basics. At least they
yeah,
could just read it and at
yeah,
least sign their name.
yeah.
So I'm
And they
very
don't know what
appreciative
they
of her.
can't. Like, if you ever watch these guys and they're like, 18 years old, have you ever watched them sign their names? It's
It's
like, how do you not know how to sign your name? And like, it's not their
it's
fault.
awkward.
Yeah, it's very awkward. So, I mean, but those are the kind of things that it's kind of interesting because it's that part's like old school, but
Yeah.
it's core knowledge
Right.
pieces. It's different than, for example, when we're saying AI, you'll be able to do all this stuff with AI. You will, but
Yeah.
and it will move in that direction. But to me, phonetics and cursive are just learning skills that are good to have. So why
Right.
would you throw that out and teach them how not to spell? Like, you
Yeah,
know what I
so interesting. Yeah, so interesting that that they've done it. I like to look back every once in a while. I like to see how things have changed. I like to remember the days when I saw my Commodore 64, come out and my Atari games and stuff like that because there's a TV show. I don't know if you've seen it. It's here in Canada. It's a Canadian quiz show and it's called Generations. So you have the four generations. I just stumbled across it one night and it was like, boomer, Gen X, millennial, and Gen Z. So, and then they answer different questions of, so it's interesting to see like the questions from the different generations and who can answer it and the information that they know. So some of
Right,
it's like flashbacks, like, what is this thing? And it's like a floppy disk.
right.
Well, how do you use it? And of course, the Gen Zs don't know. Some of the
No,
millennials don't. So it's been really interesting to watch it and see what people know, what people remember, the life they led, because they can
absolutely.
answer the question of like this one question like really easily, but you ask them a new technology question and they have no idea
No.
about anything. So I feel like I think we have an advantage. And I'm just going to go back to my radio for a second. Maybe not listen to, if you're interested in kind of keeping up with stuff and you want to learn how things are working, maybe a
Yeah,
radio
because
announcer is not your best resource,
and
but
maybe
going to
yeah,
people who are interested in it, know about it, understand it,
yeah.
that's who you want to listen to and see what you
Yeah,
can
you don't want like there's difference between opinion.
yeah,
If they're giving an opinion saying that they didn't believe it would be influential or affect this certain
right,
industry, that's one thing. But saying, it's not going to is no, completely
is
different.
incorrect.
Because
Yeah,
if you're not deal like a we deal with it on a daily basis.
yeah.
So you need to be in it to understand. You can't just it's
In
kind of
it
like,
to win it.
like people that they see one news story and they just follow it and agree with whatever that news story is because they didn't actually pay attention or learn anything, right? It's kind of like what I call people that doom scroll, right? They doom scroll, they look for bad news all the time and that's
Yeah.
what they watch, and then what happens when you watch something bad, you get more bad. So I always try to look, I honestly, and I do this all the time. I and you guys know who follow me on Instagram, I always post really stupid things on my story. They're usually jokes or things because I want to have lightness. I don't want to have all that. So it's what you surround yourself with. So
Yeah,
if
you're
you
playing
if
the
you
algorithm game. Like that's exactly the algorithm, right? And that's where these social media sites, I mean, TikTok has it like literally in spades, like good for
yeah,
them is exactly that. If you start paying attention to the negative, you'll get more and more of that type of content
yeah.
filling
So
into
if
your
you
feed.
listen to these hosts that tell you AI is not going to be able to do all this stuff, that's all you're going to get back, all those kind of stories. And then you're going to miss all the stuff that's very cool that it's doing that could help your business.
Well, yeah, help you personally or professionally, whatever the case may be. So there's
Yeah,
lots of
and help
options.
you
So I
get
just
dinner
say,
tonight.
just trust the source. I think that's like, make sure that you trust the source. Make sure the source is knowledgeable about that particular topic, and can actually give you right information. Because the challenge, of course, is in today's world is there's so many people saying things, so much wrong information out there. So
Right. Yep.
make sure you trust the source.
Make sure you trust it.
Yeah.
All right. On that note,
On the note of trusting, no.
yes. Well, on the note of trusting and the fact that we've been talking about summer, just a heads up, we're going to have our Master It monthly, and it's all about summer networking. So
Yes,
you're
that
going
is
to
next
want
Thursday.
yeah, next Thursday. So
That's going to be fun.
check us
Yeah.
out. Go to
I think that's a
Master.
lot of time, a lot of things that people forget about is they think I'm just going to take the summer off. And you said right
Yeah,
in the beginning, it's a time to actually sometimes kick it into high gear because there's a lot of people
yeah,
out there that do want to build relationships, and summer sometimes is the perfect time to do that because they're kind of
yeah.
slowing
You're gonna
down. They have a little bit more time.
if you want to join us next Thursday for that, you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, masteratmonthly.com is the place to find out more information about that.
Yeah.
All right, we will see you
All right.
here next week. Have
Okay.
a good